everyone, it's Darby with rejoiceandcreate.com, and this is the project I'd like to share for you today for Christmas 2017. It's one of the bags that you fold, and it doesn't require any cutting from a 12 by 12 piece of paper, but we're going to put a handle on it, and it's big enough, it's sized specifically for a package of Kuerig cups. And in this one I have a package of the hot cocoa, and I included one candy cane to stir each of the hot cocoa packets once they've been made. Alright, let me tuck this in here real quick. Alright, let me get this one aside. What you'll need for this project today is a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper and a coordinating piece 6 by 6 inches of either cardstock or designer series paper. For this one today I'm using the Be Merry paper pack. For the first one I used the Merry Little Christmas paper pack, which has the basic black and the old olive, which is very pretty. I like that. Now for the label you'll also need a piece of Whisper White, and I'll also use that to cut the 2 holly leaves that I'll put on there. And that's about 4 inches by 4 inches. And then for the scalloped oval behind the label is a piece of basic black, and that's about 3 inches by 4 inches. I also used one of the foil doilies, and this time I'm using the silver one. Alright, so let's get started. Let's go ahead and score the bag first. Now if there is a pattern, it's going to be right side up on one side of the bag and upside down on the other side of the bag. That's just how it's made. So I put the label on the right side up side. So if you do have a pattern on your bag, if it's not just an all-around scattered pattern, then go ahead and put that up first and score it at the 3 inches and the 9-inch mark. Turn it sideways, and we'll score it at 4 7/8 and 7 1/8. Okay. Alright, so we'll go ahead and fold and burnish the score lines. And the size bag that this makes is 6 inches wide by a little over 2 inches deep. So it can fit quite a few things. Even if you don't want to give the Kuerig 3 packs, then you can fit quite a few different things in there. Alright, so go ahead and put your 2 3-inch folds, the one at the 3 and the 9-inch, go ahead and fold those in. They should meet at the center. And we're going to fold this score line back, the first score line towards you. So just go ahead and bend it and fold it back onto itself and up to this folded side right there. And of course this is not my design. There are many of these out on the internet. But I am putting a handle on it, which I think is a lot of fun. Alright, go ahead and do that to the other side too. This score line, take it, put your finger right there to help you pivot it, and put that fold line right up on the other fold line. And go ahead and burnish. Alright, do the same to the other side. Alright, so this is what you have now. If you fold it up, it turns itself into a little bag. Alright, I like to put a little bit of adhesive on there, so I'm going to put a strip right across the top of this side. You want to definitely leave the part where it's going to open up into the pocket of the bag. But right across the top, it just helps me put my topper on, which we'll do in just a minute. So on the outside corner of each side, fold that over. Fold that over, and so now you have this. Alright, so let's go ahead and make our topper now. So to make the topper, I use the 6 by 6 inch piece, and I put it diagonally on the cutting line, and I'm going to cut it in half diagonally. Okay? Now while I've got my trimmer out, and you could do this on your scoreboard as well, but for the trimmer I'm going to make a 1-inch score line from that diagonal. So I'm going to take that diagonal line and line it up on the 1-inch line. And let me get my cutter out of the way so I don't accidentally cut my 1-inch line. And go ahead and score that. So it's exactly 1 inch up parallel to the diagonal. Now putting your diagonal line now up at the top, you want this point to be on the 3-inch line. So what I usually do is I'll take just something, my finger, and line up so I know which one the 3 inch is. And I'll line that point right up on that 3-inch line. And then I'll go ahead and score. And I'll flip it over and do the same thing. Get my finger down there, or a tool, whatever you need to do. Let's make sure I got the right one. Line it up on that 3-inch line and go ahead and score. It just helps you fold the corners around the bag neatly to make it look nice. All right, we'll do the same thing with this one. Line it up on the 1 inch. We're going to score that 1-inch line. Line the point on the 3-inch. Score. Flip it over. Line the point on the 3-inch. And score. Okay. So before I put my handles on the bag, I'm going to round the top of the bag, and I wanted a bigger round than some of the corner rounders that we have, so I'm actually going to use a 1 1/4 inch punch, because this is the same punch that I'm going to use to punch the hole. So what I do is just take that point on the top and slip it up into the cutting area, and make sure that both the sides touch that circle, and cut. And it gives me a nice rounded top. All right, let me do that with this one as well. Just tuck it in there on the cutting, into the cutting track. Make sure both the sides are touching, and punch. And that gives me a nice rounded corner, and I like that. Now I'm going to have to punch a hole in there, but I'm going to wait until my handles are on the bag, because sometimes I don't line it up exactly, and if I don't do it, I can still punch through both the papers and make the hole in the handle look exact. All right, so turn these over. Well, actually, let me leave it on this side for a moment. If you can see the lines, the scores, we're going to put glue on the other side up to that score line and a little bit down on each of the corners. It's hard to see on this side because it's kind of busy. All right, I'm going to use some fast fuse. And let me go ahead and put a line right below the score line and right above the bottom. And make sure these two corners have some in there as well. Same on this side. Right below the score line. I think I got over on that one. Okay, I'll move this one for a moment. All right, so what we're going to do is take the top of the bag and we're going to line it up right on that score line. Actually, right below that score line. I don't know if you can see me move it this way. And where those two score lines meet on the sides, there's going to be a corner, and you want the corners of the bag to nestle into each of those corners. All right, so maybe if I fold a little, it'll be easier to see where I'm going. Okay. All right, so right in that corner, I'm going to put one of my corners of the bag, line it up parallel to the score line just below. Oops, I think I'm kind of... Okay, there we go. Stick it to the other one I have over here. All right, and then just roll those two. Then just push those two sides over and stick them down. And that's how we have our handle. All right, let's go ahead and do the same for the other side. All right, let me bring back my other piece. Same thing, I'm going to line it right up at that corner, just below the score line. And we'll stick that down. Then we'll go ahead and roll over those 2 points. Okay, and that gives us our handle for the bag. All right, so now what I'm going to do is line up my two tops, take my 1 1/4 inch circle punch, and right down from the top, I'm going to put it in as far as I can, straight down. If you want to make a mark and measure, you're more than welcome to. Let me move my hand over. All right, I'm going to put it right up there until that top point rests against the punch, straight down on that point, so I know I'm centered. And punch. All right, now I have my handle. So let's go ahead and decorate our bag. All right, so I'm going to use one of the foil snowflakes, and I have a silver one this time. I used the tags and trimming stamp set, the Enjoy, and the two holly leaves. And I went ahead and stamped it with cherry cobbler and cut it out with a large stitched oval framelit. And I went ahead and cut a piece of basic black out with the largest scalloped layering oval. I also cut out I stamped and cut out 2 of the holly leaves. Now there is a framelit set that matches this, but I just cut those out by hand. Alright, so let's go ahead and layer those up. So I'm going to put some fast fuse on the back of my sentiment layer. And then I'm going to stick my foil snowflake onto the back. And you can put it on so it fits around. I like it so it sticks out both top and bottom evenly. So let me go ahead and put a couple of strips of fast fuse on my basic black layer and layer those up. Okay. Now I'm going to use some glue dots for my holly, and I'll just put a couple of them sticking out. I like it sticking out the top. To add a few holly berries on there, I just took my 1/4 of a circle inch handheld punch and I punched a few pieces of cherry cobbler cardstock out, and apparently a few other things as well. Let's go ahead and get rid of those. And just layered those on with some glue dots. Alright, so you can go ahead and actually make a whole bunch of these ahead of time, even with the labels attached, with the holes punched for the ribbon and the ribbon with the package, and just leave them there flattened out in a drawer somewhere until you're ready to use them. So it's pretty easy to make them ahead of time and have them all ready for you. It reduces the stress for Christmas and lets you enjoy what's really important. But let's go ahead and put our things in now, because we're going to go ahead and put the whole thing together. So I'll open that up. If you want to at this point, you can stick some glue to hold this pocket open. I'm going to go ahead and just put my things in, and that'll hold it open because this was made to fit this bag. My Cafe Escapes Cafe Caramel, and I'm adding on the top 3 Pfeffernuss cookies because I know the recipient of this will love to have a Pfeffernuss cookie with each of her cups of Cafe Caramel Escape. So I went ahead and added those in there, and you can add what you wish. And then go ahead and hold your bag together, and right above the fold line, right above where the bag ends, on that score line that we made, about 1 inch in, I'm going to punch an 1/8 inch hole. And I'm doing the same thing on the other side. Okay. I have approximately, let's see, I'd say, yeah, probably about 32 inches of garden green satin stitch ribbon. And I'm going to go ahead and roll those through. Now, that's what I was talking about, the pattern. If you have a pattern that is actually upright, if it actually goes one direction, half of the bag is going to be upside down. But we'll just turn this over and hope everybody just loves the bag so much they'll ignore that half that goes down, and we'll use the half that's right side up. Alright, so let's go ahead and put a point on the ribbon and stick it through. Let's see if my fingers can do this. Alright, pull that through. Point on the ribbon and pull this back through. You can use whatever size hole accommodates your ribbon well. Alright, there we go. Alright, let me just make sure it's somewhat flat across the back. And I'll go ahead and tie a bow. And I'm doing this for your amusement because I'm still working on these. She can make videos, but she can't tie bows. Not too bad, and I'm gonna go with it. Alright, so I'd like to have my tails long on this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut them very long so they dangle and look beautiful. And then let's go ahead and stick our label on. And because the bag curves a bit, I'm just going to put it on the top and one on the bottom so that it doesn't push out and curve with it too. It kind of is flat across there but sticks to the bottom and the top. So let's put some dimensionals on. And I'll put like 3 across the top. And then a couple on the bottom as well. But I'll leave the middle so it kind of bridges that curve in the bag. Alright, and then I'll just go ahead and put it on there, kind of right below the ribbon. Put my fingers back there so I can really adhere that well. And there you have it. A very nice gift bag with a handle, and they're beautifully color coordinated. All right, let me bring back my other one. And there's that one. And let me show you one more that I made. This one was made with the Bundle of Love paper, and that gold embossing on the Very Vanilla background is just beautiful. I used the Very Vanilla cardstock for a handle. And then I used the metallic edged ribbon, which was a gold ribbon, and it's also a Very Vanilla background. And for the sentiment, I used the largest stitched oval die, and I used the Good Tidings, and I actually embossed that in gold on there, and it just makes a beautiful presentation. I can see this for perhaps a wedding reception or bridesmaids gifts or mother of the bride gifts as well as a beautiful holiday Christmas present, you know, gilded in gold. It's very beautiful. I used the foil snowflake, but I actually turned it upside down. I was going to use the gold side, but I thought that the back of it actually gave it a little bit of a prettier appearance to it as well. And then I stamped and cut out the little holly from the Good Tidings set as well. That's a beautiful one. And I also have some Pfeffernuss cookies in there, as well as a 3-pack of the Kuerig Escapes, and that one has a cafe mocha in there. So I think that's just beautiful, a very elegant gift that you can make to give at Christmas time and some other very elegant gift-giving times as well. So I don't have room for all these. Let me put them all in this way perhaps. And you can make them fun festive, you can make them look natural, or you can make them look extremely elegant. Just depends on what you want to choose for paper and for the handle. I hope you find this project to be a useful one, and I hope you give it a try. And if you need any more information, just go to my website at rejoiceandcreate.com. And please subscribe. I'm putting out 2 videos a week up until Christmas time. And hopefully we'll have some fun together creating our Christmas presents, treats, and goodies. So until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye.